I'm actually tired of hearing people on the internet saying, you can learn this in next month. So I'm here to debunk it and find a solution to what actually works. Let's rewind back to the past 2 months. So I decided I wanted to learn how to code because it will yield me a stable job. For context, I'm an artist and my bread and butter comes from doing commissions. So knowing my background, I looked on YouTube to search on how to code. I felt inspired just as any would when they're watching an inspiration YouTube video about a guy or a gal learning to code in just 3 to 4 months, give or take. But the thing is, I'm at my second month. And yeah, it seems too good to be true when all I've learned thus far is HTML, CSS, some early workings of JavaScript, and a bit of Swift. So I'm asking myself, why? Why have I gotten to this point in 2 months where I guess I expected to be making bank already? I think I fell into the trap that I could learn quickly. Well, I can learn quick. The real question is, how much information could my brain actually take before it says, whoa, pause? Let's dive into why the idea of quick learning isn't so realistic. You know those videos you stumble upon where people have claimed to have mastered coding in just 3 to 4 months? Looks easy, doesn't it? Well, let's be real for a moment. According to widely accepted estimates, it takes a significant amount of time and practice to master languages like HTML and CSS alone. Some even suggest it takes around 200 to 300 hours of dedicated practice to achieve a high level of proficiency. That's like 67 to 100 days with 3 hours each day for that practice. But those stats are for learning one language, and I'm trying to learn 4 at this point. You could even ask me a question probably, and I may probably get it, but also miss the mark.
So, you've been at this thing for 2 months now, haven't you?
Yes, 2 months.
How about we do a little test, if you will?
Okay.
Just 2 questions, see if you know them.
I'll try.
Maybe writing code. How would you write a function that takes 2 parameters, where one is an int and the other is a string?
Oh my gosh. Ah! I'm supposed to know this because this was just literally the last thing I reviewed. I would, if I have a function, I would name it and then like have like boundaries. So if it's integers 1 to 1000, I would put them in brackets. I don't know, like brackets.
No.
No.
To me, like you need to study more.
The next time when you ask me, I'll be able to answer it. 100%.
I'll have different questions by then.
So think about it. You're essentially learning a new language. Just like learning any language, it takes time to grasp the basics, let alone become fluent. I think it's taken me a year and a half to learn Dutch, just to understand a little bit of it, wherein I understand around 20 to 50% of the conversation. That's not a whole lot considering the time I've spent learning it. The process of learning new skills, including coding, is influenced by factors like cognitive ability, prior knowledge, and the complexity of the task. Sure, there are some who can pick it up faster than others, but that doesn't mean everyone can or should expect the same results. The best thing you can do is to compare how you are now versus how you were then in order to see the growth and progress you've made, and also to challenge yourself rather than to compare yourself to others who have already achieved what you want to achieve. This mindset will set you up for success rather than disappointment. So if you're feeling discouraged because you haven't become a coding wizard yet, do not fret. take a deep breath. You are not alone. And you're certainly not the failure. With that myth debunked, let's move on and explore how to make the learning process efficient and fun. Coding can be interesting if it's explained in an interesting way. For example, in Swift, if I were to explain the difference between a let and a var, I would say both of them are containers. But with a var container, you can switch out its contents, while a let container doesn't allow changes to be made to it. It's basically a container with a lid. Another way on how learning code can be interesting is if you have a friend or a partner who is willing to help you learn to code. Why? Because it will make the stressful moments bearable. And there's certainly a lot. I would say I'm in a fortunate situation where my friend and partner is my husband, and he's been really patient with getting me through this. He had a couple of laughs along the way, especially when I forget to add a semicolon or put the function inside the button. Now that we've discussed how to make code interesting, let's explore what's the best strategy to learn code, or anything in general. So you've watched the tutorials, you've attended the classes, and you've soaked up everything like a sponge. But what's next? The best thing you can do to solidify that knowledge you've gained and truly understand what you've learned and master all of the coding concepts is to teach yourself what you've learned. Here's why teaching is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce your own learning and enhance retention. So basically, when you teach a concept to yourself or to others, you're forced to break it down into simpler terms, identify key concepts, and explain in a way that it makes sense, especially to you or to someone else. Yeah. Example, you can record yourself explaining how a function works, and then you can rewatch that. You also don't have to upload it like I do, and that's fine. We're all different, and we all learn differently. So this process of explanation and retrieval activates multiple areas of your brain, strengthening neural connections and embedding the information deeper into your memory. Plus, when you encounter challenges or questions while teaching, it prompts you to revisit and clarify your understanding, filling in any gaps or misinformations. So let's do a recap. After watching a tutorial or attending a class, take some time to review the material and then try to explain it to yourself or to a friend. Alternatively, challenge yourself to apply the concept in a practical project or coding exercise to reinforce your understanding through hands-on practice. Learning to code is not just about passive consumption of information. It's about active engagement and application. By teaching yourself what you've learned and applying it in real-world scenarios, you will not only solidify your understanding, but also build the confidence and skills that you need to be a successful coder. Remember, it's not about how quickly you learn, but how deeply you understand. And that takes time, practice, and yes, a few setbacks along the way. Keep coding, keep learning, and don't let unrealistic expectations hold you back. I'll see you in the next one.